So I don't want to keep recapping over the same stuff over and over again for the day before. I'm pretty sure at this point we all know about the history of the company. I've done previous videos on the topic. But I am looking into this game, like I'm doing a lot of research behind this supposed game. And the latest I've come up with is it's a fake game. I don't believe for a second that the game is going to be anything like what they are showing. So when I say fake game, I don't mean that the game will never release, it's not an actual game. I mean, what they are showing is being used for promotional material, and that is it. The reason I say that is because with the day before, they first announced it and everyone was like, oh, look at this, it's like The Division. It's going to be amazing and all this sort of stuff. And then people started realizing that it looks a little bit like The Last of Us. But shortly after they announced it, they released Prop Night, which is a hybrid of Prop Hunt and Dead by Daylight. So there was nothing original in that game whatsoever. And it seems to be the case with the day before as well, because I've watched their latest footage, the video they titled Life at Fantastic. I sat there and I watched through it and I kept pausing and looking at each frame where they're showing different things, and I've seen nothing but ripped assets from other video games. Now, they are claiming they've been working on this game for 4 years. In 4 years' time, if you are ripping assets from other video games, you're going to have a complete game. There might be a little bit to do in terms of creating stuff. Like, people are going to say, basically, there's inspiration taken from other titles. But the majority of this is based on other titles. I don't think there's actually really anything unique in there. I don't think they have created much, if anything at all, off their own back. Because the first city sort of landscape we saw, it looked very Division-esque. It looked like The Division. Then we started seeing this farmland and stuff like that, and it started looking a bit like The Last of Us, and now we've seen bits where it looks a bit like State of Decay. And upon looking at their video, Life of Fantastic, the entire video was promoting their app called Continent. They even left a clip of one of their employees, or quote-unquote employees, sitting there looking at the loading screen, sort of like the loading bar, whatever you want to call it, for this Continent app. If you look at the bottom of the description on their video as well, there's a link to download the app. The whole video was promotional material. Because as well as the Continent app, they've also used that video to thank Nvidia for partnering with them or whatever, and sending them the latest Lenovo Thinkpads. So they're getting brand new computers, all that sort of stuff. And then you also see clips like one of the people that works with them is being kicked out of their apartment a couple of days before Christmas. And they've got the second most anticipated game on Steam. They've had a lot of funds coming in through partners like Nvidia, yet they're still begging for volunteers. They're harassing people to retweet everything they post, or everything they have posted, because they're not frequent at all. So I'm going to put a couple of images up on the screen and show you exactly what I mean by using assets from other games. This first one, I'm going to put an image up right now, and it's going to show you the character creation screen for Destiny 2. You'll see face, skin color, lip color, eye color. Then you'll see the prompts for like finishing the creation and all that sort of stuff. And now I'm going to put up an image of the day before's character creation, where the faces are incredibly similar. The way you choose from the color palette is the same. Then they've got hairstyles and facial hair. The only thing that really seems to be different is the fact that you've got back and next instead of finish, and it's got a different background. And then I'm going to show you another image, and this one's not quite as like, oh my god, I can see it, but you can still see that there's not a lot of a difference. So this first image, I'll pop it up on screen now. This is taken from Grand Theft Auto, and if you look at the top left, this tooltip is telling you that the Banshee 900R has been repaired by the mechanic. And then if we go to this final image, if you look at the top left of it, you can purchase weapons and ammunition from the gunsmith. All they seem to have done with this is just, like, basically, from what I can see, is just ripped ideas from other video games, merged them all together, and made what they are calling the day before. There doesn't seem to be anything that I can see that feels as though they've created it off their own back. It doesn't seem as though there's any creativity within this if you want to call it a company within this company. From what we can see in the Life of Fantastic video, like, they don't even have a studio. It looks as though they've probably got about 10 people working with them. It seems as though every single person that's working with them are volunteers, so there's no paid work, yet they are promoting the second most wishlisted game on Steam. Everything about this is fishy. The fact that I've managed to find another 2 things within their videos and stuff that looks dodgy, but not only that, they will show you clips of what looks to be a little bit of gameplay for the day before, but it's just a bit of footage that's been put on the screen because there's no mouse movement, the person in the clip isn't using the keyboard or anything, so they are just simply watching a bit of footage. Then it comes to another screen where they're trying to show coding, and it's just 2 screens that have a very similar feed on them. But you've got this person that's sitting there spamming keys on their keyboard as though they're actually working, but you can tell they're not. Nothing in this video shows that they're a real development company with actual employees and staff that are working on a game as big as the day before. I can't see this game ever releasing. I've heard a lot about Atomic Heart, and the developers for that game did the same thing. They were showing all this stuff off like 4 or 5 years ago, and they just kept delaying the game over and over again, and apparently it's now going to release this year. I just don't understand why we are 2 months away from the supposed launch from this game and they still can't show us anything. They're not even talking on social media. And everything they have put out in the past on social media regarding the day before, they've pushed Prop Night into that as well. Because whenever they post about the day before, they put hashtag the day before, hashtag Prop Night. So I think what they've done is they've merged a load of assets together from loads of different video games, GTA, Destiny, The Division, The Last of Us, State of Decay, and they've created these couple of different areas, these like basically bits of promotional footage so that they can get people on board, they can get money from shareholders and like investors and everything like that. They can get these partnerships going and they can promote their game Prop Night, and then they can release whatever they are going to release, if they ever do, for the day before. The thing that really baffles me is Nvidia are on board with this company. Fantastic have managed to wriggle their way in to a massive partnership, and they haven't started asking questions. They haven't pushed to show the public gameplay. All they've shown is like a 20-second snippet of what is supposed to be some sort of gameplay. But not only that, another big red flag is they said the delay last year was due to them transitioning from Unreal Engine 4 over to Unreal Engine 5. And if you take a look back at the first gameplay with the announcement of the game, it looked incredible. But now you fast forward and you look at the footage, now that the game is supposed to be in Unreal Engine 5, and it looks as though it's downgraded in visuals. I've sat there and I've played Unreal Engine 5 stuff. I've played Fortnite, which runs through Unreal Engine 5. I played the Matrix tech test sort of thing to show off Unreal Engine 5. I've had a little look into it, and I've seen just how great everything looks like using that engine. And even with the RTX on, where it's supposed to show ray tracing and everything, the whole, like, every single bit of footage they have shown, it just looks downgraded from what it looked a year or 2 ago. I think at this point, if people are still looking forward to this game, and this is with people looking forward to the game, I recommend everybody goes and they remove this from their wish list. I think the community needs to actually grow a backbone, stand up for themselves, and demand that we see something before the end of January, something substantial to keep our interest. A lot of people have lost interest in this game already, but they are not losing wish lists. They're not losing followers on Steam. We need to do something, like we need to hold them accountable, and we need to force their hand to show us what they've created. We need to get people playtesting, we need to get a beta of some sort or something like that. We need to get something out of this company, because otherwise I just think people are going to sit there and some people are going to continue to be hyped. It's going to get to mid-February or something like that, maybe a little bit sooner, and they're just going to say that it's been delayed again. I don't know what excuse they'll come up with this time, But I've got this very, very strong feeling this game is not going to be released on March 1st. Even if it is like the earliest of early access when it does release. Even if you've literally got 45 minutes of gameplay in the entire game, I still don't think they're releasing anything on March 1st. Because it's also supposed to be coming to console, and it's supposed to be coming on March 1st across all platforms. But they do not have the game in the console stores. You cannot find the game at all. There's no pre-orders for it or anything like that. So I don't think they have a product they're actually willing to release. I think they are purely using this game as promotional material to promote their Continent app, to get big companies on board like Nvidia, to get big companies to work with them and like fund them and everything like that for whatever. Just basically bring them in money. And then also I think they're using it to promote Prop Night, to bring players into that game as well. Because everything they do regarding the day before always mentions Prop Night. And what we are going to do is leave that video there. Let me know your thoughts and stuff about this in the comments. And check out this video if you want to see other content on the channel. I will see you in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.